What if I told you that the secret to unlocking your full potential, breaking your limits, and transforming your life lies in what you do before the world even wakes up? That greatness doesn't start with motivation. It starts with discipline. The kind of discipline that David Goggins lives by. The kind of routine that only 1% of people in this world can endure. But here's the twist. What if I told you that this exact mindset, this structure of success, was already revealed over 1,400 years ago in the Quran? And now science is just catching up. This isn't just about running at 4 a.m. or grinding harder. It's about aligning your soul with the deepest truths of the universe. From Goggins' brutal self-discipline to the divine patterns written into nature itself, this message will shake your excuses, challenge your limits, and awaken something deep inside you. Don't blink, don't pause, watch till the end, because this might just be the wake-up call your life has been waiting for. Discipline and consistency are not just tools of personal development. They are the backbone of every significant transformation, from the life of David Goggins to the orbit of the planets. When Goggins wakes up before dawn and pushes his body and mind to the edge, every single day without fail, he's not performing a random act of motivation. He's locking into a universal law that has governed creation itself. It is this rhythm, this force of habit, built on commitment and effort, that bridges the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary. But what's truly profound is that this very principle is echoed not only in his routine, but in the revelations of the Quran and the discoveries of modern science. It's not merely about running at 4 a.m. or taking ice baths or pushing through pain. It's about aligning your life with a cosmic discipline already laid out by a creator who embedded consistency into every fabric of existence. You look at Goggins and see a man who refuses to break his rhythm. Rain, snow, injury, or fatigue, he shows up. He doesn't negotiate with the snooze button. He doesn't debate whether he feels like it. His life is a command, not a suggestion. He has trained his mind to be obedient to a higher purpose, not a temporary emotion. And this obedience isn't just a lifestyle, it's a spiritual practice. In the Quran, Allah commands the believers to pray 5 times a day, every day without exception. Not when it's convenient, not when you're feeling spiritually high, every day, rain or shine, healthy or sick, in times of war and times of peace. That discipline is not for God, it's for us. To root us into a pattern, to free us from the chaos of emotional fluctuation. The Quran doesn't just recommend it, it enforces it. Because the human soul thrives when anchored in routine. Modern science has now discovered what ancient revelation already revealed. The brain, through the process of neuroplasticity, adapts to whatever you do consistently. If you wake up every day and train like Goggins, your brain begins to rewire itself to expect that standard. Neural pathways form. Hormones like cortisol and dopamine regulate themselves around your habits. This isn't mystical, it's measurable. Scientists have found that consistent morning routines, especially ones that begin early and include physical movement, increase productivity, sharpen memory, and enhance emotional resilience. But what's deeper is that this aligns with the rhythms of nature itself. The sun rises and sets on a precise schedule. The moon follows its cycle. The tides rise and fall. Even our hearts beat to a steady rhythm. The Quran describes this order. The sun and the moon move by precise calculation, 55-25. The universe is not chaotic, it's disciplined. When Goggins runs before the world wakes up, he's not just outpacing the lazy, he's syncing with a divine frequency. It's a rejection of chaos, a rebellion against weakness. And in that rebellion, there is a mirror reflection of Islamic teachings. Every discipline in Islam is time-bound. Fajr must be prayed before the sun rises. There's no make-up version that captures the same reward. You either show up or you miss out. And this principle teaches accountability. Goggins' mirror of truth exercise, where he looks himself in the eye every morning, is not far off from the Quranic instruction, "O you who believe, fear Allah, and let every soul look to what it has put forth for tomorrow." 59:18. That's not poetry, that's programming. That's self-awareness. That's a divine command to track your discipline. There is something sacred about showing up every day, about doing what you said you do, even when the fire's gone, even when the applause fades, even when nobody's watching. That's where the real work begins. That's where transformation happens. Goggins' discipline doesn't make him robotic, it makes him free. Free from excuses, free from the tyranny of feelings, free from the prison of procrastination. And freedom, real freedom, is a product of consistent discipline. The Quran says, indeed, those who say our Lord is Allah and then remain steadfast, on them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. 46:13. That steadfastness is what Goggins preaches, lives, and breathes. And it's not a new concept, it's ancient, it's divine. When scientists study habit formation, they often talk about the cue, routine, reward cycle. You receive a cue like waking up. You perform your routine like putting on your shoes and running. Then you get a reward like a dopamine hit or a feeling of accomplishment. But what Goggins has done, what the Quran demands, is to rise above the craving for reward, to act for the sake of principle, to move because it's the right thing to do, not because it feels good. That's the level where only 1% reach, because that's when discipline becomes identity. Goggins doesn't run because he needs to lose weight. He runs because he is a runner. The believer doesn't pray because they're having a good day. They pray because they are a servant. That shift where action becomes part of who you are is the essence of taqwa. It's the consciousness of God expressed through consistent righteous action. And let's not ignore the pain involved. Consistency is not glamorous. It's painful, it's boring, it's lonely, but pain is the price of growth. When Goggins runs on stress fractures and through torn muscles, he's teaching the spiritual lesson through physical discipline. That growth costs. The Quran never promised ease, it promised purpose. Indeed, we created man in hardship, 94, not ease, not luxury, hardship. And from that hardship comes reward. Paradise is not for those who dabble, it's for those who dedicate. And the Quran spells it out. But as for he who feared the standing before his Lord and restrained the soul from desire, then indeed paradise will be his refuge. 79, 40, 41. That's what Goggins does, restrains the soul, kills comfort, slays softness, because he knows greatness doesn't come with comfort, it comes with commitment. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Even when Goggins doesn't hit a record-breaking run, he still ran. Even when your father isn't prayed in the most perfect way, you still showed up. That's what counts, showing up again and again. And what modern psychology now confirms is that people who maintain a consistent habit, even imperfectly, outperform those who are sporadic perfectionists. That truth is embedded in Islam. It's narrated in Hadith. The most beloved deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they are small. That's not a motivational quote. That's prophetic wisdom. That's the science of transformation. Goggins didn't become who he is through motivation. He became who he is through mastery of monotony. And that's exactly what the Quran prepares the believer for. Not a life of emotional highs, but a life of steady steps. Every prayer, every fast, every dollar given in charity, it adds up, layer upon layer, until the soul is refined, until the heart is strengthened, until the character is unshakable. Goggins says you have to callous your mind. Islam says you have to polish your heart. Two sides of the same coin. Both require repetition, discipline, consistency. And then comes the ultimate realization that discipline is not about control, but surrender. Goggins surrenders to the process. The believer surrenders to the Creator. That surrender is not weakness, it's power. Because in letting go of comfort, you gain clarity. In letting go of laziness, you find legacy. The Prophet Muhammad changed the world not through one moment, but through consistent effort over 23 years, day in and day out, with criticism, attacks, poverty, loss, and isolation. Yet he stayed the course. That's Goggins level grit, but on a divine mission. So when you think about that morning routine, that 4 a.m. alarm, those icy steps, the pavement pounding under your feet. You're not just training your body, you're training your soul. You're teaching your heart to obey, to rise when it's hard, to fight when it's easier to quit. And in doing so, you're not becoming like Goggins. You're becoming who you were created to be, a disciplined, focused, and unstoppable servant of purpose, one whose consistency echoes with the rhythm of the universe and reflects the will of the Creator who said, "Indeed, Allah loves those who are constantly repentant and loves those who purify themselves." 2:22:2. Because purity, real purity, is not achieved in one clean moment. It's forged in the furnace of repetition, just like greatness, just like faith, just like Goggins. Discipline is not just a practice, it is a path to power, a sign of submission, and a reflection of divine truth. David Goggins' relentless morning routine is more than motivation. It is a living mirror of the natural laws that govern the universe and the timeless wisdom revealed in the Quran. His consistency aligns with the discipline of the prophets, the structure of the cosmos, and the commands of the Creator. When we rise early, conquer our laziness, and push through our inner resistance, we are not just chasing goals, we are obeying a higher calling. Science confirms what Revelation revealed centuries ago. Success is built daily, quietly, painfully, and with unwavering resolve. Discipline isn't just a secret of the 1%. It's a legacy of the guided, the determined, and the believers. May your mornings become stronger, your discipline unshakable, and your soul aligned with purpose. Keep showing up, even when it's hard, because that's where greatness begins. Thank you for your time, your heart, and your hunger to rise above the average. Stay hard, stay faithful, and stay consistent. Good luck on your journey. Keep going, because the world hasn't seen the best version of you yet.